Hey everybody, and welcome to season 22 of Diablo 3. So, I'm super excited about season 22. 21 was dragged out a lot. So, I'm going to show you my fourth cube slot, which everybody was waiting about. I'm going to share with you my feelings on clones, which is a little controversial. I know my opinion is probably not the same as everybody else's. And I'm going to show you my barbarian, her build thus far, what she can do, and the greater rifts that I can do. I'm also going to show you just a little bit of what I've learned to start your season with. So we're going to first start off in my armory. I'm going to show you my main build first. This season, we can get restraint and focus on our barbs. So what I put in my cube for my main build is going to be Amberose Pride, Lamentation Belt, Band of Might, and Ring of Royal Grandeur. Now the Ring of Royal Grandeur goes with my Crimson set. So it'll give me that 3-piece bonus because you can make the pants, but I want to keep my waist set. So I have that full 6-piece bonus on my waist set as well. And then the rings are actually a set as well. So you have the restraint and the focus, they're a set. So you get the set bonus on those two. So we'll go to my moves. They're exactly the same as start of season last season. I don't have my ancient spear on. For ignore pain, right now I have mob rule on, but that definitely changes when I'm playing with other people. There is mob rule, or you could do iron hide. So either one. So that would be my main build as of right now. I did start on augments nice and early. So some of these guys have augments on them. I've re-rolled them. This one has an augment of 81. I started with my augments at 80. So most of them right now, if they're ancient and they look pretty decent, if they're not ancient, let's see. Like my swords, they're not the best swords ever, so I kind of just left them alone for now. I didn't augment them yet. I wanted to really focus on things that like this ancient legendary bracer that I can augment first, and then I'll augment these guys, kind of waiting for me to pick up ancient legendary swords, but we'll wait on it. I just crafted a bunch of these Captain Crimson sets so that I could get the best that I could thus far. Obviously, as the season goes on and you do more journeys, these are craftable. So you go over to your blacksmith and you're going to go under belt, and then I have that the belt from him. I also have the pants, and then I have the boots. Now when you craft these, you're going to need materials that you're going to get from doing bounties. So naturally, as I have to do more bounties in the future, I'm going to then focus crafting better crimson set. That'll be my first thing that I will focus on. Second thing that I found that I like to focus on is one thing at a time. So right now I am looking for better pants. So when I get blood shards, all I'm going to spend my blood shards on are pants, so that I don't have to waste any resources re-rolling it in the cube quite yet. So start of the game, when you're doing a bunch of rifts and you're pushing just to do, your paragons, to get your paragons up and everything, you're going to get a lot of blood shards. These blood shards you can then put into Kadala, and then Kadala will then in turn give you a bunch of crap, but every once in a while she will give you a good set or a decent set of, like I'm doing pants, she'll give you a decent set of pants. I found that the rings that I have on right now are doing wonders. They're doing beautifully. I If you would look at the set that I had last season, almost exactly the same except for the two rings, the belt, and the boots. And then obviously the fourth cube slot, I was wearing the Lamentation belt last season and I had on the Band of Might, the Zodiac, and Convention of Elements. One of those would, I think it was the Zodiac, I put into my cube and I had the Band of Might on. We will now check out my speed build. Okay, so speed build is pretty much the same. It put back on my Lamentation belts and my boots that I had on before because our speed build cooldown really doesn't matter, and the Captain Crimson is really good with your cooldown. So when I'm just doing speed runs through to get my keys, that doesn't really matter for me for the cooldowns because I'm just blasting through pretty much. So I left on those guys. I did change out the Lightning Gem and the Boon of the Hoarder Gem into my speed, and then I just switched out these guys right here. So Furious Charge and Sprint, so it makes me go a lot quicker. And then let me show you my cube. So for my cube, I have Ambrose Pride, Gold Wrap, Avarice Band, and Leoric's Crown. And that's going to be for my speed build. And then my gold build, it's going to tell me blah, blah, blah. And then it takes off a belt. I'm just going to throw on whatever belt I have. If it's the Crimson that pops into here, or if it's the Lamentation belt that pops into here, I just pop that right back in too as well, because the belt doesn't really matter on this build. And this is what I'm going to do when I do my puzzle rings. So obviously I have my boon in. These are the same moves as I have on just my main build. The only thing that really changes is the green gem in the helmet and my boonstone in my ring. So I don't change up too much from build to build. I like to keep everything quite similar. And then over here I have gold wrapping, and then I have this sword in place of my Ambrose Pride, which I think is the only time I switch out my Ambrose Pride for anything. And that's about it for, you know, my different builds. Extremely similar, but that fourth cube slot is so glorious. For my Enchantress, as of right now, she still basically kind of has the same things on. The Oculus ring gives you that little kill circle, so she has it on instead of me, so I don't have to wear it so that I can try out my new rings. And I am going to change out some of the other things, but as of right now, she's not a huge part of me pushing or me greater rifting or anything like that. We're going to take a peep on the leaderboard. So as of right now, I haven't pushed too hard at all with my build. I'm trying to take it easy and slow. I'm trying to get my paragons up before I really try to push. So I can do a 105 in 10 minutes, and that 10 minutes was only because I didn't get a pylon towards the end of it. My clones had died out, so I really had to kill the Rift Guardian solo, unfortunately. The bottom of the list right now is still 112, so other people aren't really pushing too hard. I feel like people are really focusing on getting their paragon levels up and their gems up and forming, grouping, rat running, everything, and then they're gonna push solo later on in the season a little bit. As of right now, I'm at 1093 for my paragon, so almost 1100, which isn't too bad at all. End of last season, I had 2220. So I'm on my way. My end of this week's goal will be 1,500, which is completely possible because I am now running in 4-person groups when we're doing hundreds. So every other or every, sometimes depending on if I'll jump out and grab a pool or whatever, I'll get up a Paragon level. So that's not too bad. And you all know that when you start to get up in Paragons, the Paragons slow down significantly. As you can see right down here in this tab, I just need one more bar and then I'll get another Paragon, which is absolutely beautiful. My stash tab is an absolute hot mess right now. I basically keep everything. So for the first page, you have your gems and your miscellaneous items. Um, this page, I have my amulets and rings. I have set items. I have a bunch of crimsons. I have my cow sticks and my puzzle rings. I have some of my primals. Next page, I have weapons, and then I have more weapons, and then I have gloves, bracers. Right now, for the beginning of the season, I'm just trying to keep, if I get something good, I'll keep it. A lot of things are either legendaries or ancient legendaries. So I am hoarding a little bit more than I should be hoarding in case I want to do a different class or in case I want to try out a different set. I do have over 40 things cubed in my Kanai's cube as of right now. One of them is cube 40 items. I have a little bit over 40 items. You never know what you're going to want to try out or what you're going to want to put in. I know a lot of people are actually just putting everything in. I personally myself am not 100% sure what I want to do. I know Echoing Fury is a really good one. Stone Gauntlet's a good one. The Gold Wrap's a good one. Leoric's Crown, Mineral Channeling, my Lamentation, Nem Braces. And then we have our rings. And then the Ring of Royal Grandeur, which I use. And the furnace I was using for a little bit. The Flavor of Time, some people put that on. I have it on. The Stone Gauntlets. So I pretty much put in things that I either know that I'm going to need to use or maybe I'm going to need to use. And I might just actually throw everything in the cube because I am grabbing a bunch of everything and just stash tabbing it. Pretty soon I'm gonna need room, and pretty soon I'm going to get better of what I have. So in my stash right now, so I'll take that out and then I'll try to cube it. For my materials right now, they're not too good, they're not too bad. This Angel's Flesh is actually really low because I used it to make my Captain Crimson set. And then we have Death's Breath, which is always a struggle. Forgotten Souls, which we'll keep getting up there for sure, along with the Death's Breath. When we do our key farming, I like to just pick up all the little symbols on there just so I can get my Forgotten Souls, and then I always like to grab my Death's Breath. My keys this season, I'm going to keep between 100 and 200 so that I could always just run. When I'm alone, which sometimes you have to play solo, I'll key farm so that when I actually have people to play with, I can grade a rift with no problem without having to be like, hey guys, I only have like 2 keys left, and they're like really lazy, and I'm like, yeah, sorry guys. So the first thing obviously that you want to do when you first start off your season is upgrade everybody from your jeweler to your blacksmith to this lady over here. You're going to want to start augmenting as soon as your main gems. So let me see in my build right now. Let me put back on my main build. You can see that 105, 105, and 105, and you could see that that's the highest that I can do in a solo GR. If I'm in a group of people that have higher paragons or demon hunters or necros, I can obviously get those gems up higher. But as soon as you hit that 105, you're going to then want to start to work on your augments. So I can obviously show you right here. I have this guy up to 100. That's going to be one of my first 100 augments. I have this guy on 23, and then I can keep going. As you can tell, I learned from last season, I put the ones that have caps down at the bottom so that when you actually pop up it to Urshi, it'll show you all your gems in order of how they are on your stash tab. It'll show you the ones that you have on first, and then it'll show you like this on your stash tab. And then these guys are all the way at the bottom, so I ignore those completely. This one right here, I didn't put it in the right order, but fix it a little bit. This one right here, I may switch out at a point in time or not. I'm not sure whether I'm 100% comfortable with the gems that I have on right now, but this one is at 85. I am going to get this one up to 105 as well. I am not going to ever use it as an augment because I know that this one I may in the future want to use on my build. So I usually get like 2, 3, or 4. So like these couple ones right here up to 80, and then I'll do it to 100, and then I'll do it to like 110, 115. And then last season my top augments were 125 to 130. So right now most of them are at 80, 81, 85, which is perfectly fine for the start. I know some people, they start off at 50, some people they start off at 60, 70. I started off at 80. I mostly run with myself to do pushes or key farming, but most of the time I'll at least have one person running with me, which is the more efficient way to start season. I started with clone leveling and then quickly switched off to greater rifts with other people. We also too had to do a bunch of bounties because I believe that was in your season journey. And then two, I knew that I had to make my crimson set, and I run with another Barb, so she has to do her crimson set as well just to try it out. So I was like, all right, let's do a bunch of bounties. And she actually likes doing bounties, unlike me. I hate doing bounties, but you know, that's part of the game too. I don't mind key farming because I have my speed build. And then I'm thinking about different classes in the future after I get my Paragon up a little bit more. And then I'll pause on my Barbarian, switch over to the other class, do all this stuff on the other class, and then the last few weeks of the season push on both. So this season I'm only going to do 2 classes. I am going to do one more build for my Barb, which is going to be the Z Barb. So when my Paragon starts slowing down, that's when I'm going to do rats with people. I'm very good with my Barbarian. I've heard that it's not the easiest thing to do a Z Barbarian, but I have full confidence in myself because I am a little bit more well versed in that category. Last season I did make a Z Monk. If anybody ever calls to duty a Z Monk, I can make her really quick. Just re-roll something super quick. It'll take me probably an hour, 2 hours to get a Z Monk ready, and then I can run with whomever needs a Z Monk. And I was thinking probably a Crusader will be my second class. A Crusader is a little bit harder. It's a little bit more, instead of me just clicking my 1, 2, 3, 4, you actually have to plan stuff out just like a Z Barb. So I think that'll be a nice little challenge for this season. This season I'm just trying to do better than what I did last season, which I feel like a lot of people are trying to do. People that were high on the leaderboard are now trying to do hardcore, which is amazing. I did make a hardcore character, but I do try to play that on off season, so it's a non-seasonal hardcore character. So the few weeks of either PTR or in between, or you know, that when I need a little bit of cooldown from the season grind and the season push, I'll play my hardcore character, which is also a barbarian, and just make it fun and do whatever you'd like. I do have my eyes on certain other classes that I may want to try in the future, Monk being one of them, because I did like to do the Z Monk. Crusader is one of them. Also, Witch Doctor, Wizard, all these other ones, just so I can get a little bit of like gameplay in everybody. And then do not forget your challenges. So let's go in really quickly. We'll leave game settings, challenge riffs. Always do your challenge riffs. It's a monk. That's absolutely beautiful. So, the fact that I can do a Z monk and I'm interested in regular monk builds and everything, I can play this and get a little bit of dip my toes in, if you will, get a closer look into seeing what a monk would really look like, which would be beautiful, other than, the Z monk that I have. And then I know that the builds are never ever perfect and they're never really fun, except for the Whirlwind Renbarb, which was season start, which tickled my heart so hard. I was like, oh, yes, I know how to exactly do this build. Thank you very much. I'm going to have a good jump on the season. I know a lot of people are already 1,000 Paragon higher than me, 2,000 Paragon higher than me. I'm okay with that because this season is me just pretty much flexing what I know and expanding on what I know and trying new things out. And I love the fourth cube slot. Now, the very last thing that I have to say though is my clones. And I know that I said that it's a little bit controversial right now, but I don't like clones. Um, I don't like that the person that clicks on the pylon, it follows them. I don't like that you have absolutely no control over them. I don't like that if you're over in one corner trying to kill an elite and your clone is over in the other corner trying to kill a baby spider. I don't like that when the person dies that clicks the pylon, your pylon is still there, but your clone dies. That doesn't make sense to me. I also don't like that there's no countdown or timer for your clones, so you're just gonna have to kind of wing it by ear. And then I also hate the pylons being at the end of the level and you're going to have to get more strategic with running through things, looking for a pylon. Oh crap, didn't find a pylon, and now I have to skip this entire level and now I'm behind on a clock kind of thing. The whole thing just, I feel like somebody's gonna find a really good way to do it. We just have to probably wait a week or two. They were a really good way to level up, but they're not really helpful, in my opinion, in greater rifts, unfortunately. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, always leave them down below. I do have a Twitch channel if you want to come play with me. It is Lazy Days for Me, twitch.tv. I love playing with people that watch my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and just have a good rest of your day.